Good morning, I'm Kevin Price. Delighted to be with you. Going to spend some time talking to you about you and your business. And we're going to jump straight in with our first guest from a news source that I've always been a fan of called Kiplinger. And many of us are very familiar with this. We're going to talk about some cost-effective strategies when it comes to your old iPhone, and looking forward to this. I stumbled on this story. Cameron Huddleston is the online editor for Kiplinger, and delighted to have you on the show today. How are you, Cameron?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, what I love about Kiplinger is that it's very practical, in terms of things like our topic today, best time to sell your old iPhone, but also very strategic, how to invest in general, things you need to know, in terms of managing your money. So really, it's kind of around the jack of all trades of money, isn't it? In a way,
it is. We cover all aspects of personal finance.
Yep. So how long have you been with Kiplinger?
13 years.
Well, we're delighted to have you join us here today. And best time to sell your old iPhone. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, if you are hanging on to one, you need to sell it fast, because usell.com, which is an online marketplace for used gadgets, did some research and looked at the iPhone sales from last year when Apple released its iPhone last September, and found that 2 weeks after a new iPhone launch, old iPhones lose about 11% in value. So it's been a little bit more than a week since the iPhone 6 started appearing in stores. So if you're still hanging on to a phone and you're not going to trade it in to get a new phone, you can still get a decent price on your old iPhone. And it depends on the model you have. Of course, the newer ones are worth more. But you might find that even if you are planning on trading in your phone so you can trade up and get the newer model, that you might even get a better deal through one of these online secondary marketplaces rather than trading it in through one of the service carriers such as AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, because they are all offering credit for the used iPhones.
So they're trying to give you incentives to do a trade-in, not unlike with a car, right?
Right. It's similar to trading into a car. So there's several websites out there. Usell.com is one of them, Gazelle, Nextworth, and then there's another one. It's not a website. These are kiosks. It's called EcoATM. EcoATM, it has these kiosks. You can find them in malls, shopping centers, and they're in 42 states. They have more than 1,000 of these self-serve kiosks, and basically you can just kind of slip your phone in, your old tech gadget in, it'll take a look at it, tell you how much you can get, and you get your cash right away. The other ones, you send them into their sites. Shipping's free, though. They'll give you a label, and then they'll send you the money.
So has this been a trend that's been going on for quite a while where, the phones are losing value faster? Tell us a little bit about what you've seen trending in this way.
Well, with some of the experts I spoke with, who are dealing with this every day, actually what will happen is before even the new phone is released, the new iPhone in this case, the current ones will start dropping in value a little bit just because people are anticipating the release of the new phones. So, the iPhone 5, the iPhone 4, they already started to drop a little bit before the iPhone 6 appeared on the market. And as I mentioned earlier, 2 weeks after the new iPhone launch, the old ones lose about 11% in value. 4 weeks, they're going to fall about 15%. By week 7, which is almost 2 months after the release of a new phone, there were 21% less. So you don't want to hang on to those old phones if you're planning on, upgrading to a newer one. Or, maybe you even did. Maybe you bought the iPhone 5 and you still got an iPhone 4 sitting in a drawer. Don't hang on to it any longer. Those are going to depreciate in value most because the iPhone 4 is not compatible with the new operating system that Apple released, that iOS 8. So those are worth the least amount right now when it comes to iPhones.
Yeah, if you're not careful, you'll be donating it to a museum before long.
But the thing is with these with the sites, the secondary marketplace sites where you can sell your gadgets, and you can even buy used gadgets too, they'll accept damaged phones. And depending on the model, like if you have a newer model, the iPhone 5S, for example, you'll still get money for a damaged phone. The 4, you're not going to get much at all. But you can even trade in like old flip phones with those sites. So, you might not get much at all, but at least you're recycling it. You're not just throwing it in a trash can.
Yeah, my understanding is that a lot of those end up, and maybe now soon, these smartphones will be ending up in third world countries. What has little value here can actually have value, around the world, as long as it's got texting ability, is my understanding.
Right, and the important thing, too, is, you want to clear out all your data before you sell your phone. You don't want any personal information left on those phones, and make sure, if you still have a contract with that phone, that you've, even if you're doing month to month, make sure you've ended that so it's no longer going to be connected to your contract and you're no longer getting charged for that phone service.
It's shocking that you have to remind people to do that, but I'm glad you did. It's like, really? You're going to leave that data in there? But yeah, people just don't think, and people tend to be, assume that others are going to be as nice as they are or as polite as they are or whatever, and unfortunately we don't live in such a romantic world.
Sure, always, yeah. Anytime you're selling any old electronic items, whether it's a phone or a computer, clean it out. Get all that data, that personal data out. You definitely don't want it to get in anyone else's hands.
So what is your beat, if you will, intel? I'm assuming that phones are just part of what you cover.
Well, sort of. I'm not a technology writer. What I am is a money-saving expert, if you will. My daily column, Kip Tips, offers people advice on how to spend less and save more.
Well, I think that's something that everyone has as a desire and a motivation these days, and I'm glad that you gave us a great tip today, and I'm hoping the listener exploits it ASAP. The value of your phone, that sucking sound you're hearing, may be the value of your phone, and so Cameron Huddleston has some great advice. I would suggest following Cameron at CHLEBEDINSKY. That's how do we pronounce that? Lebedinsky?
Yes.
Hey, not bad. That's what you get for marrying that guy. But
that's my Twitter handle. It's my married name. Huddleston, my maiden name. It's a little bit easier.
Check it out, though. I've been checking out some of your tweets, some very practical information on there as well. Plus, make sure you go to Kiplinger.com, KIPLINGER.com, and check that out. And if you put in best time to sell your old iPhone, her article ranks very high, maybe number 1 if I recall, on Google. Cameron, thanks for your time today.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you have a great rest of your day. When we come back, much more for you. Do you want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com, and this is The Price of Business.